I think no other architect in the world has done that for his own commission, the architect which he was assigned to do. To do a symbol like this and to the category of Nehru somehow this was executed. This is a sort of spiritual symbol. In India, our sin is sincere than I think in all other religions. They bless people like this. And to think of a symbol like this in India is absolutely appropriate, that the man understands the culture of India, the people of India, and so on, starting from the total environment. Next. You see, he thinks of architecture in a way that which can sustain the high moments of history. You know, it's no use doing architecture which will fade after a certain time, but to make up structures which can sustain time, which can sustain the moments of history. So that sort of thing he wanted to create, and this symbol will live, I think, in the moment of history, the way he thought about it. Thank you. I think Sangeet told me that you have 1 hour or quarter of an hour. Because you are all tired now. Well, these are some of the studies which he did for the open hand creation. And you can imagine the image, the thought which comes to the mind of an architect as a symbolic thing. And then next, this man used crystalline geometry for all his works. He says that this is the geometry which holds the whole universe together. It can create poetry, it can create harmony, it can create wonders, and through this medium only one can achieve something, not otherwise. Next. Sleep. This is the Chandigarh. I think I can see here better. I can see it from here. This is the initial thing which corbusier is a map of the initial study of Chandigarh and open hand. Oh, I see. Created base, and he was the man who created modern movement. He was a leader there with a group of Siam architects, the sort of world architects forming that sort of group. And this sort of thing that he creates modernism. He talks about modernism, and is coming over in Chandigarh rather reinforced, and the adoption of modernism went very well. Many other countries subsequently followed modernism, and which is staying as yet. I asked somebody some question, how long this modernism will be there? Will it change to contemporary something or something beyond that? Or the modern movement will stay all along? But the fact of the thing is that modern movement has a potential, that it talks of humanity, the enrichment of life, and so many other things. The human equality, that it's hope that this will stay for a long time to come. Next. No, this patronage of Nehru, I think no project without the political will, the willing patronage of bureaucracy, and the willing support of engineers. that any project can be realized. And this is what happened in Chandigarh. Pandit Nehru visited Chandigarh 3 times. There were many doubts in the mind of the people. Hearable, everybody can listen to this. Okay. There are many different thoughts in the mind of people that why foreign architects in India? When a situation has come that many Indian architects are doing very well, then there were also doubts that why there is no Indian architecture scene in Chandigarh. This whole thing apparently appeared to them very different because they were used to see Indian architecture and so on. So he came 3 times to sort of explain these thoughts and these doubts. He said that if we don't take the advantage of the developed country's knowledge, our creativity will die in itself. And so far the Indian architecture is concerned, he said, it's a time because he was a socialist himself and corbusier also a socialist himself. They somehow went very well and they sort of got support from each other. Nehru helped him a lot. Otherwise, the symbols like this, like open hand, and many other things could not be realized. Fact is that in early days, Maxwell Fry, who was the only English-speaking architect in the team, because Corbusier, John Ray, they were not very fluent in English, rather knew hardly any English so far John Ray is concerned. So they used to send Maxwell Fry to central government to arrange finances, to arrange many other things which is required for the capital of this grand nature. And the financial committee there, they told that Corbusier's capital complex is very, very big, very vast, and it will need a lot of finances, which probably is very difficult for a partition-torn country that time, that we don't have that sort of funds. And he wrote to Mr. Thakur, who was the secretary of the capital project, that tell Corbusier to sort of squeeze his project in order that everything should be built and nothing be left out, rather than certain things are built and the remaining stay unbuilt. Of course, even today there are many things unbuilt as yet, and maybe in due course of time it will be built. Next. So this is what I have already explained. The Chandigarh expresses the urban form of its very peculiar, very, very progressive. It's a sort of experiment because with the crossroads, with the fast-moving roads going around a neighborhood unit. And that sort of, so that there is no entry, there are only few 4 restricted entries to the sector. Nobody can open his house or anything on the main road, so that at least for 3/4 of a mile, the car can move on the fast-moving roads very well. Next. Now, this is what was Corbusier's biggest contribution. His biggest contribution was to bring man closer to the nature. You know, that was a stage when the world was doing very many foreign things, wrong things, because they did not follow nature, they defy nature, and nature has its own way to sort of react. And that is how we are trying, facing these days, the global warming and so many other footprints problems, pollution problems, and things like that. Had we followed the nature's way, probably these things could have not happened. So his vocabulary for architecture and urban planning was that he followed sun, space and greenery for everything. And he had understood the importance of the light. He was a worshipper of sun in a manner that he has taken care of the sun in any way, every way. Next. This was a unique, what is this? A city in the garden. Corbusier has not designed a garden city like in the pattern of the what has been done in England, no. But he designed a city in the garden. So this you can see the limit of the periphery. And the city in between. But this is all gone because the neighboring states, Haryana and Punjab, they have occupied on two directions, western and eastern, and Chandigarh is left only 3% of the periphery area. And I don't know. We thought that we are the custodian of periphery. At least we should do justice. But there is so much of pressure that maybe that area will be also urbanized subsequently. This is what I have already explained, that Nehru came not only to spell some of the doubts in the people's mind, but also he laid the foundation stone of the Secretariat later. Next. Now, you have seen, of course, the buildings of the capital complex. You might have seen also this plan in various books and so on. This is a true study of geometry. And if you really study this in detail, you will find that everything is either modular or in code section or in geometry. Geometrical order. Geometrical order is a big issue which he really called for, and that he has applied in the whole city, right from the bigger capital complex to the smallest details. Next. Now, this issue which I want to ask you people to kindly see it very carefully. This is the governor's palace, one of the buildings which has not yet been built in the capital complex. This was the crown of the whole capital complex. At the top of the capital complex, if you have noticed, shall we go back or can we? That's it. That was there on the top, this one. Is not yet built, and of course mortal memorial and small little things, which he thought that it is a sort of tying elements between the whole area, with lot of many of water bodies in front of High Court, in front of the Assembly building, and now he had proposed in front of the Governor's Palace. But somehow when Nehru came, and he said we don't give palaces to our people, those who are in the service of the people, bureaucrats. So we can't do that. So then this was his first thing. Next, in place of that, he designed a museum of knowledge so that we can have this building. What I would like to ask you, which building would you like to be built as an architect? My Malaysian friends who answer. Yeah. Which one would you like to have?
This one.
The first one or this one?
Voting.
Well, this is quite a question which we have not been able to solve as yet. We are trying very hard, and we are trying to sort of see that what will be the use of this building. If it is a museum of knowledge, he talks about the electronic discs. Of course, now there are discs. That time probably there were no discs in the form of CDs. And what will be the other spaces which will be used if this sort of building is built, or even the other building? Governor's residence was okay, but then even if the earlier design is converted into museum of knowledge, what sort of changes it would require will be the requirements which we can really fix for these buildings, and that's an issue which we are trying to resolve, but not yet got the answer, to be honest. So you can send your suggestions to the UT administration. Next. This study. In the section there are several halls in the other side, say 2-3 big halls, and this side there are many 5-6 floors. So it is not been imagined how these floors will be utilized. Maybe there were proposals that it can be a museum for only capital complex. That all buildings like Secretariat, High Court, Assembly building, each one is a study in itself. One can talk for hours on one single building. And their original drawings, Corbusier's interpretation as sketches, and what is built now, what are the efforts which have been put in to build these buildings like High Court, Secretariat, without having any sophisticated machinery available in India. I have a film, but unfortunately Sangeet said that the film itself is 1 hour and they may not be sort of having that sort of time, which shows that how with the labor of men, women and children and involving donkeys for the transportation of material, that these beautiful buildings like High Court and Secretariat. I mean, I feel really surprised even today that why, a 3 inches wide louver can be built 80 feet high or 40 feet high, so for the High Court is concerned, and such a precise workmanship without any machinery, without any technology available of that time. As I said, that he was very much in appreciation of the sun. He said that probably this land is having the boon of sun and also the problems created by the sun. When the temperature goes very high, say 45 degrees, and we have extreme climate, it goes down to maybe almost minus degree or 3 degrees, 4 degrees. So it's like a shrine for the sun. It says it's a directional thing, generating types of louvers which can check sun in summer and provide a sun in the winter for the penetration of the light into the buildings. It's really like a temple. And he has written himself, which you can read, say, "Be thou praised, O Lord, for all thy creations, more especially for our brother and son, who brings forth the day and give us light thereby, for he is glorious and splendid in his radiance, and to thee, Most High, he bear similitude." similitude the creator of the world, like the God himself. Next. And these are the things really very absorbing for an architect to study, like a meditation. And Corbusier always wanted that and thought of that architect should have dedication like the monks in the monastery. You know, otherwise he cannot do much. So this is the Corbusier. No, I'm talking that I somehow learned lessons from all the four people. Freud, Drew, Journey and Corbusier. It will come later, probably the slide is not in order. This is suddenly saying philosopher and writer. He used to write very philosophically, rather mythologically, and he will write about the smallest thing in a way that it hits you and makes you think. Such was his potential of writing and his nature of philosophy. Next. You know, this is again what he did. He followed geometry, crystalline geometry in a great way, and he knew the importance of the geometry. He not only did in this, but all over the world, wherever he has done buildings, he has taken the help of geometry to achieve that. There is one thing, there is no technical way of assessing aesthetics. It's a very personal thing. Some people like this building, some people not like that building, and so on. But he is the only man in the whole world which he created a modular system by which he thought that if he adopts, any architect adopt, he may not go wrong. If he may not have the greatest building, but he will not produce bad building. So that sort of system which he adopted. Next. This is again talking of the sun, space and greenery, the basic facts of planning which he followed in Chandigarh. Next. My life and my works will come gradually, you can see. So I'm now talking about my experience in Chandigarh. This is a slide where the masters of Chandigarh, in a way those who made Chandigarh, may not have conceived Chandigarh, is Mr. Randhava, who was the first chief commissioner of Chandigarh, Mr. P.L. Verma, a great engineer. Some people even call him a father figure of Chandigarh. Then myself, Mr. Kabir Singh, Mr. Eminent Sharma, and others. Now these were the four fellows, Mr. Freud, Drew, Pierre Journeret, D. Corbusier, M.S. Randhava and Eminent Sharma, of course not in that team of his associates. I learned all from them. Next. Now, this is what these people are, and they had their own philosophy, they had their own experience, they have own vocabulary of architecture. Next. This is very ugly, partly, but there are questions sometimes here that why do you use concrete surfaces or brick surfaces? I think the answer is only for mere noble aesthetic reasons, nothing else. Next. Now, these fellows, what they taught is right written there at the bottom. They said that follow a specific path if you want to reach the destiny. Now, I have been talking really that architecture, like life, is very complex. And there are many ways, particularly these days, profession is absolutely on the crossroads. There are many channels available to follow the global image, follow the regional thing, follow Indian things, and modern technology, or only technology. There are many issues. But if we follow path, if we have directions, luckily for me, I had directions in right my formative years, which way to go. And I nurtured modernism, which I really call it till today. As I explained that it has the potential. Yes. No, this is the architecture vocabulary by JNU and Pride. They whitewashed their buildings mostly, houses and everything. They did lot many schools and colleges. Drew was very fond of jali, the perforations, and he designed concrete jali and so on, whereas Donre designed brick jalis, which you will see later on, and Fry, of course, that is a housing thing, and there are louvers to protect sun. Next, the louver is a largest thing. Louver itself an element to study for all architects. How much heat really absorbs itself in summer, particularly for heated areas, which those louvers transmit that into the building during the night. Whether they are so useful, but Corbusier was very sensible. He kept the louvers a little away from the building. So there is no transmission involved. Now, this is John Ray. This is my photograph with him in Geneva during his more or less last years. I was studying in Milan architecture, and he will call me often, ask me to stay for a day, but will make me to stay for a minimum 4 days. This is his vocabulary. He used brick. Like Corbusier used stone for his building, he used brick only. As I said, that both the buildings have the versatility for aesthetic reasons. Next, they don't need any maintenance for any time to come, and they are warm. Next, no, I have not seen the construction of this building, but John Ray has designed this building as a temporary building. Have you seen this building? This is a building which is used as legal corbusier center. I think while in Chandigarh so you should visit this. Of course, there are Corbusier's buildings and his tapestries and his paintings, all are there. There are some souvenirs also available on sale, which one can buy. Now what I want to impress upon that this temporary building had all the elements of architecture, vocabulary of architecture that even the most sophisticated